All right, welcome back. It's time for a portfolio update. Okay, and I think that I'm going to start doing these a lot more frequently. Uh, Let me go right in. I'm not going to waste any time. Let me turn on my screen recorder now. Screen recorder on. I'm just going to pull up public, which is where my dividend portfolio is. My dividend portfolio for public. And we're going to go top of the key. And right now, my portfolio is sitting at $24,516. And if you can see, I just like to show the all time, so you all can see that I am. It's important that even in a dividend portfolio, although my goal is to earn passive income every single month and to have that money compound and grow and earn more and more and more every single month, even though that is my goal, it's important for you, for me anyway, to also be able to capture some of those capital gains within the market. So I would be, to me, my portfolio would be a failure if I was only collecting dividend income, but I didn't also get some amount of capital gains along with that. In other words, you want your stocks to grow. You want the companies that you're investing in to continue to grow and do well, as well as in addition to you getting those checks from them for holding their portfolio, a piece of their pie in your portfolio, right? So I like to show what I'm doing. I like to show the results of what I'm doing so that you all can see I'm not just picking stocks out of thin air. And so we're going to go over to the all time. It has slid down. I think the last time I gave you all an update, I was over 20%. But the market has seen a decline over the last couple of weeks. And so right now I'm still up 18% all time. I've earned about $3,766 within this portfolio. Okay. And that's just all time, right? So I'm going to switch back to the day chart, and you can see there, that is my, that's how much I have here. $24,516. Of course, you scroll down, you start seeing I have it organized to where the most amount of money that I have and the largest positions that I have goes from top, from the greatest to least. And so you can see right there clearly, Realty Income is the stock that I have the most amount of money in, followed by PSEC, which PSEC, that just happened because again, I did a video where I invested $2,500 into PSEC in one felt swoop, right? And below that, you can start see the breakdown of everything else, right? So you see QQI there, QQQI, you see AGNC, Stack, ET, you see ADC, you see JEPI, you see Maine, you see Walmart, QYLD, Vici. All the stocks that I've talked about on this channel, I usually have in my portfolio, you all. All right, Waste Management is there. So just to show you all what this is yielding me, I'm going to switch over now to my Dividend Tracker app. We pull up the Dividend Tracker, and right now this portfolio is yielding me $174.90, right? And sometimes when you open up your portfolio through this app, you will see the monthly average change, which is what it did today. It changed because it was over $175. Now, typically when that happens, you have to go in and find out why that change happened and what is the reason as to why there was a decrease. Sometimes there's an increase, right? Sometimes the number changes and it goes up. But when it goes down, I tend to dial in on it because I want to know why that number decreased. So typically I have to track down the particular stock that is the cause of that decrease in my monthly average. But typically it stays the same, right? And so here you can see, again, I'm earning $174 a month, almost $175. You can see what I'm expected to earn for the year of 2026 right there, just under $1,900. And then you can see going forward what they estimate my returns will be with DRIP, without drip, and what is declared and what is received already, right? So this is really important going forward because you start to understand uh, the outlook. You start to understand what your portfolio can really transform into. If you drop down to yearly income, look at the difference, right, between what my estimated dividend income would be without without dripping all of this stuff right back into the portfolio. By 2035, if I had not dripped, if I without drip, I would be earning about $2,000 a year, right? That's without drip, without putting all this money right back into the portfolio. But with drip activated and on, you see that number shoots up to around $5,500 a year, you all. So you see the compounding effect, the drip effect. It's real. It's absolutely real. You want to drip, don't take the money out and spend it. I know it might be very, very enticing to a lot of investors, but don't do it. Let that money compound. Let it drip right back into itself and into all of your stocks so that those dividends continue to grow over time. The compounding, as you see, gets better every single year. That's how it's supposed to work, you all. And this number is going to be bigger than this because, of course, I'm still investing. So as I invest, these numbers are going to do nothing but continue to grow. But if we drop down, you can see assets break down into by percentage what I'm earning, and then you go under there and you can even see what they consider to be undervalued, reasonably valued, and then overvalued, right? So this app, again, is a really great app for you all. It's free. That's why I chose this app. It's one of the free ones that's out there. It's very simple. It's a very, very, very simple face. You don't have to do a lot with it, right, to understand it. Everything is right there in your face, and again, it's free of charge. You don't have to pay. You have to pay anything for this app. So, I absolutely recommend it. Again, it's called Dividend. Let me get the name for you all. Yeah, it's called Dividend Tracker in your app store. So DIV Tracker, and it's got a picture of a little palm tree surrounded by a blue background or a turquoise background in the back end. That's the app, for those that want to know, right? All right, so I think every Sunday, I think I'm going to try to do these portfolio updates with you all just so that I can continue to share my investing journey with you all so you can see the work being done, so you can see the work being put in and how it's literally an ongoing result that you have to constantly and consistently work at, right? First thing to remember here is that having a dividend portfolio is great. It's cool. It's what I recommend everyone do. But if I were starting over from ground zero, meaning I had no money involved with the stock market whatsoever, I didn't know anything about the stock market, first day investing, ground zero. If I was starting from ground zero, I would start with what I like to think are the fundamentals to investing, which is creating a portfolio entirely dedicated to an index fund. Okay. The fund can be whichever fund you think is best. Okay. There are literally hundreds of them to choose from that are out there. And amongst those hundreds of different ETFs that you can choose from, they're tailored to specific sectors of the market. But if I were starting over, I just choose one that is well-rounded, right? Because there are some that focus on, energy, some that focus on technology. I choose a well-rounded portfolio like the Vanguard S&P 500 ETF, ticker symbol VOO, right? Why? It has over 500 of the market's biggest and best stocks that have been hand selected by a committee, and then those hand selected stocks are then passively managed, right, over time to ensure that only the top companies are within that portfolio or within the fund. Of course, if you want a better breakdown, then you just pull it up on any of your favorite informational stock sites. For me, it's Stock Analysis, and you'll get a complete list along with a sector breakdown to better understand like this one right here, to better understand what it is that you're actually investing in when you buy into that particular ETF. So listen, my VOO investment never stops. All right. It never stops. I invest in it every single day in a separate brokerage account that is completely disconnected from my dividend portfolio. Now, the amount that I invest in from week to week or month to month, that may change, but never the frequency of my investment, right? And that's the goal. Every day, always building towards something bigger and greater in the stock market. That is the goal, making sure that I take advantage of owning a piece of every major company in the market. All of these companies here that you see, all of these different sector breakdowns, and you drop down and you see the top 25 holdings list right there, and you see that these are some of the biggest companies in the world, right? It's my goal to own a piece. I want a piece of all of that. Okay. Now, let me shift back to my dividend portfolio and talk about it really quickly. I set a goal this year of hopefully reaching $250 every single month in passive income on average, right? And right now, I showed you all that I'm still hovering around $175, which means I'm about $75 away from that goal, which is going to take a lot more capital if I want to meet that number, y'all. I realize that we're halfway through the year. But regardless of whether I get there or not by the end of 2026, the goal does not change. My determination does not waver. And my focus never shifts away from it because I ultimately know that I'm building something incredible for my future. And I also know that the more I sacrifice and put into it, the more I'm going to eventually be able to get out of it by the time that I'm done with my working career or with my work life, right? And that's the goal. Doing the most minimal amount of work as I get older, but still being able to collect that extra income that I need in a time where I may need it the most, right? When I'm not so physically capable as I am now. So I said all that to say, wherever you are on your investing journey, I understand that life is not always a straight line, right? And things happen that might pull you away from accomplishing your goal. But it's more important now than ever before that you do not stop and that you find a way to get back to that goal as quickly and as fervently as possible. Because honestly, none of us can afford not to. Okay. Social Security is something that will always be a topic of discussion, a topic of debate with a lot of finance channels that will take you, it'll take you an entire lifetime to collect if you live that long, right? So think of dividend investing as an additional financial social security measure that you're taking for yourself or maybe even your family if you care about it, right? Whatever the case, keep the goal in your sights is what I'm getting at here, okay? And I'll see you back here tomorrow where we talk about what's happening with the airline stocks right now and why it might be a great time for you to think about adding one of them to your portfolio, all right? But that's going to do it for me. That's going to do it for this segment. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, man. Later.